Hey, you alright? Welcome to another video. If you haven't been here before, I'm Cecilia Jo and this is my channel where I talk all things books. So today I'm actually going to do a haul. So I think I bought maybe around 20 new books, which is not good considering I've got a really big physical TBR to get through. But you know, I was feeling sad and the best way to cheer me up is to go and spend money on books. So yeah, all of these were from The Works. I just did a big spending spree there. So yeah, like I say, I think I've got around 20, something like that, new books. A few series to start, but yeah, let's just get into it. I think definitely after this I need to be on a book buying ban until I make a good dent in my physical TBR. Although there is a new bookstore that's just opened near me, so maybe I'll go and have a look at that on the weekend, and then after that I swear I'll be on a book ban after that. I swear I will. So yeah, I don't actually know how many books I have on my physical TBR. Maybe I'll do that as the next video because there's a lot. I feel like I read a lot. Last year especially I read a lot on my Kindle, so I was accumulating all these books but never actually reading them. So anyway, this is not about that. This is about my new books that I've got. So yeah, let's just get into the haul. Okay, so I just got a big bag of them here, so I think I'll just start from the top and go through them. So first of all, I actually got this because I thought the cover was really pretty. I actually have no idea what it's about, but it's called Faithful by Alice Hoffman. Says a tender story of love, loss, guilt and growing up and a few rescued puppies. It's a very small book, like compared to the regular size of books. It's very short, but yeah, I really like the cover. I thought it was super pretty, so I'm pretty sure it's just like a standalone book. So yeah, that's the first one, Faithful by Alice Hoffman. And then we've got Shakespeare's Sword by Alan Judd. Again, I just really liked the cover of this. I thought it was very cool. And it says, these 6 words in Shakespeare's will tell us that Shakespeare had a sword. Did he use it? What happened to it? Might it? Does it still exist? So yeah, I think that should be another good one to read. I think these two first ones will be good to read if I'm feeling in a bit of a slump. I think they're both quite like shorter books anyway. So I think they will both be good if I'm, you know, in a bit of a slump and sometimes you just need a bit of a not an easier book to read necessarily, but a shorter one that you don't necessarily get really invested in reading a 5-book sort of series. And then next up we have the 6 of Crows, which I think is a duology. I think there's just 2 of them. Oh yeah, 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So I didn't buy Crooked Kingdom, I only got this one. But I probably will end up getting it at some point, maybe when I've read this. I hate when they do that, when they have like Netflix symbols on the book and it's not a sticker, it's just on the book. I hate that. Anyway, yeah, 6 of Crows, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. I thought this, again, I've seen a few people read it and I really liked the cover of it, which was mainly why I got it. It says Ocean's 11 set in a Game of Thrones-esque world, electric prose. And then we've got the second one in the Holly Jackson series, the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I have, but I actually haven't read it yet, but so I don't really know why I picked this one up, but I've heard such good things about it that it's like a really good series to read, and it's quite like, because it's YA, it's quite easy to read, quite easy to follow and stuff like that. So I'm excited to read these ones. I think I'm going to do a video where I read like 7 thrillers in 7 days or something along those lines, so maybe I'll add these to the list, even though they're YA, they're still thrillers, so maybe I'll add the first one to that list. But yeah, I got the second one in that series. And then also another thriller, which I've been wanting to read this one for ages, I've seen people say it's really good, is A Silent Patient. So it says Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. Bum bum bum. So yeah, I think I will read that one maybe in that same video with reading thrillers. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about this one. I knew I had to get it as soon as I saw it. And then next up we have the second book. I think this is a duology again, or maybe the third one's just not out yet. So the first one's called Legend Born, which I've started reading but I've not finished it yet because that is a hefty book. Like, it's like this one, but the writing inside is so small. It's like they are hefty books. So we've got Legend Born, the first one, and then Blood Marked, which is the second one. I just think these covers are so pretty. They're so pretty. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Like I say, I need to finish Legend Born first, but I thought I may as well get the second one because I know I was enjoying it. And then this again is another thriller which I've seen everyone read. I saw this on Larry Reed's did a reading thrillers video, and she read this one in there as well as the sequel. But I couldn't find the sequel, but I think they are also on Kindle Unlimited. But it's The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I've actually never read, I don't think I've ever read a Frida McFadden book. So I'm excited to try this one. I've been wanting to read it for a bit. So yeah, hopefully this will be as good as the hype says. Because Larry Reed said it's good, and she typically tends to like books that I like. So yeah, hopefully, well, I nearly ruined it for myself and I was nearly reading the last page. So yeah, hopefully it lives up to the hype. So that's The Housemaid. I think the other one's called, I think it's just called The Maid or something like that. It's something again to do with The Housemaid, but yeah, that's the next one. Okay, and then I just bought 4 different series. So we've got, the first one is Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Is falling in love the beginning or the end? So we've got Beautiful Creatures, Beautiful Darkness, Beautiful Chaos, and Beautiful Redemption. I love a good series. So yeah, these were on offer when I bought them, so I thought no better time to get them, you know. So yeah, I'm not like, I don't really know what they're about. I just know that I love a good series, and I don't really feel like I've seen anyone really talking about these. Not on my sort of For You page anyway. So hopefully it should be good. I'm excited to read them. Like I say, I love a good series, and when I saw that it was on offer, I was like, it's meant to be. And then next up we've got Shadow and Bone Trilogy, which is by the same author as the, God, I've forgotten what that book's called already. Oh, the Six of Crows duology. It's the same series, it's the same author as those. And this is the one that's got the Netflix show, Shadow and Bone, now a Netflix series. I've not seen the series. I typically like to read the book first so that I'm not like swayed by the imagination of the director or anything on that. I like to imagine it all myself, you know, and then I can see how they've interpreted it. So yeah, I'm excited to read the series. I also love how pretty are those. So it's the Shadow and Bone series. We've got Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. I'm excited to read those. They're so pretty. They're like metallic book spines in like a little box. These again were on offer at the work, so I'm looking forward to reading these ones. I don't know anything about it again. I don't think I know anything about most of these books, to be fair. I mainly go on either I've seen someone recommend it and say that it's good, or I like the front cover. That's typically what I go on. But it says, like The Hunger Games meets Potter meets Twilight meets Lord of the Rings meets Game of Thrones, epic magical fantasy but completely for grown-ups. So it sounds like my cup of tea, to be fair. And then next up, these actually, I read the first one when I was younger, but I've never read the others, and I have heard that they're really good. As much as they are for a younger audience, it is the Percy Jackson series, and they were only £10 for all the books. So I was like, I really would like to read them. I think this again is going to be a series that, if I'm in a bit of a slump, this one might be a bit easier to read and get me out of it, get me back into reading, you know. So there's Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, then And the Sea of Monsters, then And the Titan's Curse, then And the Battle of the Labyrinth, and then And the Last Olympian. So there's 5 books in total. £10 for 5 books, you just can't really complain, can you? And I really liked the film of this, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I don't know if there's more than one film. There could be, but I think I've only seen the first one, if there is more than one. So yeah, I'm excited to read these. Again, I think they'll be a bit easier to read because they're really for a younger audience than me. But yeah, £10, I thought definitely I want to read them. And then lastly, again, I think this is another one that is for a younger audience, but I just loved the packaging for it. I loved the front cover, the spines. I loved that it came in a box. And it was only £10 again for 5, so 6 books this time. But like I say, I think they are for a younger audience. And it's called The Land of Stories, that's a series. So it comes in a big box like this. It's got the blurb, all of the books in there. Look how pretty they are. They are so pretty all together. So we've got The Wishing Spell, The Enchantress Returns, A Grim Warning, Beyond the Kingdoms, An Author's Odyssey, and Worlds Collide. So it said, through the mysterious powers of a cherished book of stories, twins Alex and Connor leave their world behind and find themselves in a foreign land full of wonder and magic, where they come face to face with the fairy tale characters they grew up reading about. Chris Colfer invites readers to join Alex and Connor on their fairy tale adventures from the beginning in this gorgeous gift set, which includes all 6 books in the Land of Stories series. Oh, so it's actually, Chris Colfer is actually the lad from Glee. I didn't know that. I didn't realise he'd actually written them. But yeah, I think, like I say, I think they're for a slightly younger audience, but I'm looking forward to reading them. So that's the Land of Stories. And that is all the books that I got from the works. I also bought the other day Fourth Wing, which I've seen absolutely everywhere. And I've only got a small bit of it left to read, and I've done a whole video on it, which I don't know if it'll come out before this or after this, but yeah, I would recommend going to get it. I've not finished it yet, but I would still recommend you going to buy it for sure. The Fourth Wing, it's worth the hype. So yeah, that's all the books that I have bought recently. And like I say, there is a new bookshop opening, so I feel like it would be rude not to go and at least have a look, you know. I don't know if it's used books, I don't know if they're new, I have no idea. I've not been. My boyfriend just walked past it and was like, oh my god, there's a new bookshop opening. And I was like, we need to go as soon as we're free. So I think we're going to go on the weekend. And after that, I'm on a book buying ban 100%. I think I might do a video counting my physical TBR and see how many books I actually have. And then I need to make a good dent in them. You know, I need to, if I'm going to keep buying books, I need to at least be reading them. And it's not that I've not been reading. I just read so much on my Kindle that I kind of forget that I have all these physical books. And then when I like want to go and buy something, I'll go and buy more books. And it's so silly. It's so silly. I think what they call it, rather than a bookworm, is a book dragon, because you just collect them all and keep them and hoard them. So that's what I am at the moment, a book dragon. But yeah, that is the end of today's book haul and the end of today's video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would like to subscribe, I would really appreciate that too. But yeah, like I say, that is it from me, and I will see you in a bit.